Students, so we are done with the practice with module 5, the two cases in module 5. Today I will be discussing a topic which is close to module 5, Gopal Reddy case, which is about the dowry system. It's about a PDF file, and I will read out the PDF file to you about the dowry system in India for you to analyze the case even better. And from there you can do your own analysis and come to your own critical legal linguistic analysis of the case as well. So it is an article, Dowry System in India by Laila Atif Fakhar, and I will be reading out the essay and discussing with you its finer points. Practice of dowry poses heavy threat to the life of females. Dowry is an age-old practice in Indian society referring to property or valuable security given by one party to another as a consideration for marriage. The origin of dowry primarily was a contribution of wife's family or by herself with the intention to help the husband. Notice words like intention to help the husband. This custom of dowry was started in the medieval period. Women were gifted with wealth and jewel from their parents during her marriage, and this served as a tool of financial independence for the bride even after marriage. This menace is the root cause of almost all violence against a married woman. In most cases, after marriage, the problem of dowry will arise. If the wife is not able to provide all which her husband and in-laws demand, her life in the groom's house becomes miserable. She will be treated cruelly, and in some cases she may lose her life. Now, where I disagree a little with this article in the beginning is that please look up texts like Manusmriti. Even before medieval India, the practice of dowry was pretty prevalent. However, it was something that wasn't held by tooth and nail. It is a gift that is given to the husband's family so that the wife can be maintained, because she's someone who is not going to get employment or will not be allowed to step outside the house. So what all can be given to maintain her after she is wedded and she goes to her husband's house. It was a non-mandatory event in the marriage, dowry. It wasn't necessary for dowry to be bestowed on the girl and the boy's family in order for marriage to take place. This custom changed over the years, making it as if it is a bond written in stone that the woman has to be casted off to another family only with the help of a lot of materialistic endeavors by the girl's family. The problem which Indian society still suffers is cruelty against women is based on dowry. Domestic violence against women in India has its root at the demand of dowry. Dowry may happen in any family. There is no difference between rich, middle class, poor, educated or uneducated. When a marriage is fixed, no one is to worry as to how clever, intellectual and homely the girl is. But all that matters is how much money and luxuries will she get to husband's home. With the passage of time, dowry became a customary part in Indian society and became demanding, and the groom and the groom's family started demanding dowry as their right in order to marry a woman. And gradually the dowry became a tool of violence to these very women. When the groom's family didn't get enough dowry, resulting in harassment or cruelty of brides and also dowry deaths, especially in certain parts of India. Dowry demands affect the lives of females socially, economically and culturally. According to the definition of dowry, under Section 2 of the Dowry Prohibition Act 1961, something on the contours, this Dowry Prohibition Act 1961 is what on the contours of it the judgment S. Gopal Reddy has been made. It is clear that dowry is a property which woman brings to her husband at marriage and includes the land, all sorts of properties, valuable securities given or agreed to be given directly or indirectly at the time of marriage. The term dowry does not include repayment of marriage expenses. The term dowry does not include meher. Historical background of dowry system. This is very important in your critical assessment of S. Gopal Reddy. Where does the act germinate from? The act of willfully claiming the idea that something of the bride's family belongs to the groom. Dowry or Kanyadanam is an important part of Hindu marital rites. Kanya means daughter and Dana means gift. The custom of Kanya Dan, giving daughter in marriage, followed by Var Dakshina, gift to the bridegroom at the time of marriage, may have given increased importance to dowry. It is in the Rig Veda that one comes across the concept of Kanyadan. It was a custom in ancient times to give dakshina, obligatory gifts, after any kind of dan, voluntary gifts. Voluntary gifts, important portion. It is said that Rishi Karva gave a number of gifts to his daughter Shakuntala when she married King Dushyant. It can be guessed that since child marriages was the norm in ancient India, the parents may have given numerous gifts to the girl as she left her maternal home. Nevertheless, dowry as it now exists includes the extraction of cash and material goods from the bride's parents by the groom and his family. This social disease has spread through the range of society, crossing religious and economic limitations. Furthermore, dowry demands are made not only prior to the marriage but also years afterwards, for instance at the time of centenaries and the birth of children. Demands for dowry have been secret after the passing of the Dowry Prohibition Act 1961 and its amendments in 1984. The first national legislation to deal with the problem of dowry is the Dowry Prohibition Act 1961, with the main motive to prohibit the heavy demand in dowry. The government introduced the Dowry Prohibition Act on the 1st of July 1961. Unfortunately, the dowry system is still widespread in India despite the provision in the Dowry Prohibition Act 1961. Post this act, dowry demands, the giving and the taking of dowry started taking place in secret. Unfortunately, the dowry system is still widespread in India despite the provision in the Dowry Prohibition Act. According to Section 3 of the Dowry Prohibition Act 1961, the Act prohibits the demand, payment or acceptance of dowry. Three things: demand, payment or acceptance of dowry as a consideration for the marriage, where dowry defined as a gift demanded or given as a precondition of a marriage. So asking or giving of dowry is punishable by an imprisonment of up to 6 months and a fine up to 15,000 rupees or the amount of dowry, whichever is more, or imprisonment up to 5 years. It replaced several parts of anti-dowry legislation which had been enacted by various Indian states. However, in accordance with Section 3 of this Act, both the giver and the receiver are pursued in connection with the demand for dowry. Okay, let's read further. Where the death of a woman is caused by any burns or bodily injury or happens otherwise than under normal circumstances within 7 years of her marriage, and it is shown that soon before her death she was subjected to cruelty by her husband or any relative of her husband for or in connection with the demand of dowry, such death shall be called dowry death. We will continue with the rest of the article in the next lecture.